dear friends and lovers of things Greek, and especially of Greek language, I would like to thank you for participating in this presentation of the languages festival at Sydney University, organized by the School of Languages and Cultures of the University of Sydney. Our session begins now, and unfortunately, as you see, because it's the first time that we do something like that, so we try to give you as much as we can, and in the very limited time we've got to present to you what we're doing here, especially in Greek studies. First of all, before starting, I would like to recognize land. We'd like to do that, Thanasi?
Yeah.
Land and country. We are standing on the land of Gattaca people of the Iora nation, and we are paying respect to those who care and continue to care for the country, but our elders past, present, and future. So what are we here to talk about? Is, of course, we have to talk about Greek studies at the University of Sydney, especially modern Greek. My name is Professor Vrasidas Karalis, you can call me Vras, and our student representative, Athanasios Kalos. Athanasi, can you introduce yourself?
Yep, my name's Athanasios Kalos. You can call me Athan in English or Thanasi in Greek. I respond to both. And I'm doing a major in modern Greek, and I'm the student rep of the modern Greek department in the School of Languages and the Faculty of Arts. I'm very excited to be part of this presentation.
Thank you, Thanasi, and thank you all of you for participating, although we can't see you. So what are we doing in modern Greek here, as you understand? Some of you have already studied Greek at the community school, Saturday school, year 11, year 12. Some of you have already stopped. You started in primary school, and then you went to a certain degree in high school, but then stopped. Here at Sydney University, we try to offer to cover all these pathways of students who have done Greek in one way or another, left incomplete, actually know Greek well, or finally don't know Greek at all. This is a very important aspect of the whole thing, as you understand, to do a sort of a kind of, to cover the needs of all students. For example, students who are complete beginners, they don't even know the alphabet, and they have nothing to do with Greek language or Greek culture except the usual kitchen Greek that will be sent here and there. Or if you go to a lovely Greek restaurant to eat moussaka and sort of a kind of, what else we eat in Greek?
When you order Greek restaurant? When you order gyros.
Gyros, souvlaki. Oh, souvlaki. Yeah, I forgot the souvlaki. So we actually try to cover all of these HSC beginners, that is to say people who have already studied to a certain degree, or those who have until year 10, and then here HSC continuous or extension advanced students. Now, as you see, depending always how many students we've got in the class, we try to divide them into 3 different streams, or 2 streams, regarding how they cope with the pressure. Usually the beginners, the continuous of HSC, go to the 2nd year because we have a special group for them. It's a smaller group, 6 to 9 students, so it's very good for them to be and create this sense of community. The other thing you have to remember is that why do we do Greek? Not simply because we want to actually learn something about culture, which is very important, not simply because we want to learn the language, which is more important, but for, as you understand, we try to give you a career as well. And we have tried to give you essentially a goal, why you do Greek, how are you going to be useful to your life and your plans for the future. As you know, there's many Greek, in Australia, we have around 800,000 Greeks, as you understand. So Greek is a very actively spoken language, especially the last 10 years, we have many Greeks coming from Greece during the crisis. So your goal when you take Greek is either to have a major in Greek or a minor in Greek, or just a few units if you're doing other degrees. For example, some of you want to become doctors, very important, dentists. If you want to become dentists, you become very wealthy. As you understand, very important in this case, because people have always rotten teeth and they want to be fixed. So, but the university allows you to combine, to get a minor in a language in this case in Greek, which is usually 3 years, and essentially to combine both language or culture, whatever you need. We offer, at the University of Sydney, we offer every second year, we alternate, we offer 2 units, cultural units of study and 2 language units of study. So, I mean, for you who will study 2, 3, or 4 years, there's plenty of choices there to have both a major and a minor. Otherwise, if you don't have the time or you don't feel like doing that, you can take a few units of study, especially as electives when you are in other programs you do. Of course, you can do even diploma of languages. That's another thing for the future. So what is Greece, as you understand? For us, it's a very important thing, as you understand that the language that we study is essentially one of the most, if I may say, ancient languages in the history of Europe and the world. But of course, we pay more attention because there is another a Department of Classical Studies, pay more attention to modern Greek history, language, and tradition and culture in general, especially after 2018-21, when the Greek liberation, like a phoenix, rose from the dead, you know, from the slavery of 400 years under the Ottomans. And of course, I just give you the opportunity, all of us, to sing together «Σε γνωρίζω από την κόψη του σπαθιού την τρομερή, σε γνωρίζω από την όψη που με βιά μετράει τη γη. Απ' τα κόκαλα βγαλμένη των Ελλήνων τα ιερά και σαν πρώτα αμβριωμένη, χαίρε, ω χαίρε, ελευθεριά». As you know, this is the most moving Greek song that we have. It's a song of the liberation. It's a hymn to the liberation, and it gives it of the Greeks after 400 years of essentially of slavery and oppression and, if I may say, oblivion from history, as the Greeks themselves used to say. But thanks to the help of people like him, like Lord Byron, who died in Mesologi, as you see, very nice clothes here, this dude was wearing, and, you know, just help the liberation of Greeks. And then gradually, we have the creation of the Greek state as it is today. Gradually, it was formed. And as you see, we have areas like Thessalia, Macedonia, Thrace, Central Greece, Peloponnese, the islands of Greece, Crete, Ionians, and of course, some of them you will actually must already have formed, known them during your holidays in Greece. I know, of course, now with COVID-19, we're not allowed to go anywhere. We don't travel. We stay at home. We are homebound. And, but, you know, just sometimes, as the song says, imagination is very important. We travel with imagination. We see the real Greece of imagination. We can see the first royal family of Greeks, the Otto and Queen Amalia, the most important politician of modern Greeks, Eleftherios Venizelos. When you go to the airport of Athens, you will see it's called Eleftherios Venizelos. So it's because to honor this man here. And of course, Greece today is in the European Union, as you understand, and it participates in these great changes that we have in the European map in order to create if I may say, we don't know that yet, but it's happening, sort of a union of all European states. So you see some photographs here of Athens, but of course, you can't go to Athens without seeing this amazing. This is, I mean, you owe that to yourself. You see it once or twice at least in your life. This is a very important aspect of the whole thing, you know, just the Acropolis at night, the Parthenon, all this incredible vision of democracy that comes through the reconstruction of the past. And this is, again, as you see, a whole photograph of Athens and the Acropolis and the Parthenon through down to the Saronic Bay, to the sea, or the Monastiraki, for some of you who will go there, is the grooviest place of Athens. There you go there for coffee and all the archaeological stuff, as you understand, that happens. That's one of the most beautiful places of Athens as well. But of course, I know that you will go immediately to Santorini, of course, there, you know, just the end, or Mykonos, which is Mykonos or Santorini. This is the important question. When we have a political issue in Greece, we say this comes from Santorini, this comes from Mykonos. Who is the better one? So the very beautiful places, as you understand, to visit in Greece. So and it's very important because we have, when you enroll in Greek, we have a unit of study in collaboration with the University of Athens. You go for 45 days in January, between January and February, and immerse yourselves into the culture, the language, and overall the life of modern Greece, especially of the capital city of Athens. So essentially you have to remember how beautiful the Greek language is. Τη Δευτέρα και την Τρίτη ο καιρός θα είναι ζεστός. Η θερμοκρασία θα είναι πολύ υψηλή. It's words that we use constantly. Ο καιρός θα κάνει κρύο. And of course, the very important questions. Από πού είσαι, τι δουλειά κάνεις, πού μένεις. This is how the Greeks recognize themselves. And of course, for some of you who had people celebrating the Dormition of Virgin Mary, η Κοίμηση Θεοτόκου, χρόνια πολλά Παναγιώτη και Παναγιώτα, and Maria and Marias for those of you who celebrate. So what are you going to do at Sydney University? Athan will describe to you precisely as students what you're going to do. But then you will be doing dancing, of course, as you see, in front of everyone to show how important the Greek culture is for everybody. So thank you for your attention, and we will find again if you have any questions. Athan.
Thank you, Vrasidas. I'll take over and share my part now. So my portion today is to speak a little bit about what it's like to be a language student at Sydney Uni, so the experience of studying a language or languages. And one of the first things that I wanted to point out was when I first started at Sydney Uni, I walked in the first day. My first class was Greek. And on the timetable it read that it was a lecture. But very soon you realize that a language lecture is not the same as what you get in some of the other subjects where you're in a large lecture hall. It's much more intimate, it's in a smaller room, resembles a tutorial much more than a lecture where one academic is just speaking to you for two hours on end. This one's much more intimate, it's much more interactive, and you develop a very close relationship with your professors, in this case, with Vrasidas as well as being one of them. One of the other special parts that was actually quite surprising for me, something I didn't know, was the availability of prizes and scholarships, which are available across the School of Languages, and Greek has quite a few awards. It's almost indulgent, really, that we've got so many, and there are a lot of opportunities for you to be rewarded for continuing your study of languages, especially when you do it across multiple years. For those of you who are doing a major or a minor especially, these are ones that would be very, very appropriate for you. And as well, due to the fact that it's always quite small classes, it is very easy to make friends, and you make lifelong friends from all the subjects that you're studying during the course of your degree when you're studying a language, and especially in modern Greek. And one of the big things that you will do is you will definitely be socializing in two languages. We all know the stereotype of "let's pame." We've all heard that before, and that develops a lot, especially in the first year. You'll do a lot of bilingual communication, and that'll develop a bit more sophisticated into second and third year. Another opportunity that Vrasidas alluded to was the in-country study, or what we just colloquially refer to as the exchange program. It is very, very much an unforgettable experience. I did it in 2019 across January and February, and it literally counts as an extra subject towards your degree, which means that your load will be a little bit less in that semester or later on in the degree whenever you choose to use that extra subject. And you had a lot of opportunities to travel, especially on the weekends. You'll be taken to places like Delphi in Thessalia, to Thessaloniki, Macedonia, to Epidavros in the Peloponnese, and of course you'll be staying in and studying with the University of Athens, with ECPA, which will be a 5 days a week program, either 3 hours or 4 hours a day, depending on your level. And absolutely everybody who participates in that program comes out of it with positive things. Everyone that I've spoken to has said that it was an amazing experience, and they would recommend it to absolutely everybody. The last part that I just wanted to speak on a little bit was the availability of cultural societies, language societies, that are available for you to join at the University of Sydney. So in our case, being the Modern Greek department, we have the Greek Society, on whose executive I was for 3 years. And when you participate and when you join a university society, especially a cultural society, one of the most evident things that you will notice is the fact that it really is the natural complement to studying the language in the classroom. So in the classroom, you'll develop your language skills, you'll become more culturally aware, and then you'll be able to apply that in the setting when you're speaking with and when you're interacting with your peers in the cultural society. And there are a lot of opportunities. You might have an opportunity to participate in or to attend a cultural event. One of the things that comes to mind was the 2 movie nights that we did last year when we showed 1968 and The Last Note, both of which were opening films at the Greek Festival of Sydney, so you get some quality films. And then we also had some lecture events. We had one where Vrasidas was a speaker on the Greek political elections of 2019, and another one on the poetry of Yannis Ritsos and the music of Mikis Theodorakis, where Vrasidas' colleague Andoni was the main speaker. That brings it to the end for me.
To thank you for joining us, and for more information, visit Languages and Cultures Sydney University. Connect with us at Facebook and Twitter to be informed of what we're doing here, the different things that we're doing throughout the semester and before and after the semester, and especially to give you an idea of how the university and the school and the department works. We thank you so much, and if you have the opportunity, go to the link that we have that will be sent to you after the end in order to participate in a survey of what you think about this promotion of Greek language through our school and our university. Thank you so much.